A man wakes up after a night of drinking to see a single red rose on his bedside table. Beside the rose is a glass of water, 2 Advil, and a note from his wife. The note says, "Hi, honey. The pills are for your headache. When you're ready, come down to the kitchen and I'll fix your favorite breakfast. Love you." He also notices that he is still in the clothes he was wearing last night and that they aren't very comfortable. He goes down to the kitchen to find his wife humming happily to herself and dancing around in her apron. Upon seeing her husband, she dances up to him and gives him a loving kiss and says, "Go wait in the dining room. Breakfast will be ready soon." So he goes and waits in the dining room. The man's son is also sitting there. He quietly asks his son, "Hey, do you know what's up with Mom?" The boy looked up and said, "Well, Dad, do you remember coming home drunk last night? You were pretty out of it. You went upstairs and crawled into bed with Mom. Well, you were still in your jeans and shirt, and Mom didn't think that was very comfortable, so she decided to help you get undressed for bed. She couldn't, though, because every time she tugged on your shirt, you would push her away and yell, 'Get off me, lady! I'm married!'" 1. My neighbor. She's single. She's shapely and beautiful, and she lives right across the street. I watched her as she got home from work this evening. I was surprised when she walked across the street, up my driveway, and knocked on my door. I opened the door, she looked at me and said, "I just got home, and I have this strong urge to have a good time, get drunk, and have fun tonight. Are you doing anything?" I quickly replied, "Nope, I'm free." "Great," she said. "Can you watch my dog?" 2. An old cowboy dressed to kill with cowboy shirt, hat, jeans, spurs, and chaps went to a bar and ordered a drink. As he sat there sipping his whiskey, a young lady sat down next to him. After she ordered her drink, she turned to the cowboy and asked him, "Are you a real cowboy?" To which he replied, "Well, I have spent my whole life on the ranch, herding cows, breaking horses, mending fences. I guess I am." After a short while, he asked her what she was. She replied, "I've never been on a ranch, so I'm not a cowboy, but I am a lesbian. I spend my whole day thinking about women. As soon as I get up in the morning, I think of women. When I eat, shower, watch TV, everything seems to make me think of women." A short while later, she left and the cowboy ordered another drink. A couple sat down next to him and asked, "Are you a real cowboy?" To which he replied, "I always thought I was, but I just found out that I'm a lesbian." 3. A blonde is watching the news with her husband when the newscaster says, "2 Brazilian men die in a skydiving accident." The blonde starts crying to her husband, sobbing, "That's horrible. So many men dying that way." Confused, he says, "Yes, dear, it is sad, but they were skydiving. And there is always that risk involved." After a few minutes, the blonde, still sobbing, says, "How many is a Brazilian?" 4. A young guy from Minnesota moves to Florida and goes to a big everything-under-one-roof department store looking for a job. The manager says, "Do you have any sales experience?" The kid says, "Yeah, I was a salesman back in Minnesota." Well, the boss liked the kid and gave him the job. "You start tomorrow. I'll come down after we close and see how you did." His first day on the job was rough, but he got through it. After the store was locked up, the boss came down. "How many customers bought something from you today?" The kid says, "1." The boss says, "Just 1? Our salespeople average 20 to 30 customers a day. How much was the sale for?" The kid says, $101,237.65. The boss says, $101,237.65? What the heck did you sell?" The kid says, "First I sold him a small fish hook, then I sold him a medium fish hook, then I sold him a larger fish hook, then I sold him a new fishing rod. Then I asked him where he was going fishing, and he said down the coast, so I told him he was going to need a boat, so we went down to the boat department, and I sold him a twin-engine Chris Craft. Then he said he didn't think his Honda Civic would pull it, so I took him down to the automotive department and sold him that 4 Mark IV Expedition." The boss said, A guy came in here to buy a fish hook and you sold him a boat and a truck? The kid said, no, the guy came in here to buy the for his wife, and I said, dude, your weekend's shot. You should go fishing. 5. A soldier ran up to a nun. Out of breath, he asked, please, may I hide under your skirt? I'll explain later. The nun agreed. A moment later, 2 military police ran up and asked, sister, have you seen a soldier? The nun replied, he went that way. After the MPs ran off, the soldier crawled out from under her skirt and said, I can't thank you enough, sister. You see, I don't want to go to Iraq. The nun said, I understand completely. The soldier added, I hope I'm not rude, but you have a great pair of legs. The nun replied, if you had looked a little higher, you would have seen a great pair of the I don't want to go to Iraq either. 6. One day a young man enters the store, glances at the clerk and at the loaves of bread behind the counter. Noticing her short skirt and the location of the raisin bread, he has a brilliant idea. I'd like some raisin bread, please, the man says. The clerk nods and climbs up a ladder to reach the raisin bread located on the very top shelf. The man standing almost directly beneath her is provided with an excellent view, just as he thought. When she descends the ladder, he decides that he had better get 2 loaves, as he is having company for dinner. As the clerk retrieves the second loaf of bread, one of the other male customers notices what's going on and requests his own loaf of raisin bread. After many trips, she is tired, irritated, and begins to wonder why the unusual interest in the raisin bread. Atop the ladder one more time, she looks down and glares at the men standing below. Then she notices an elderly man standing amongst the crowd. Thinking that she can save herself a trip, she yells at the elderly man, is it raisin for you too? No, stammers the old man, but it's quivering a little. 7. A couple want to have children, but the wife can't get pregnant. So they go to see a priest for advice. The priest tells them they came at the right time since his superior just sent him to Rome for 10 years, and he's leaving tomorrow. As soon as I'll get there, I'll immediately light a candle for you, he promises. Time passes, and the priest returns to the little town after 10 years. The first thing he does is visit the couple's home. He can hear a crazy loud noise when he knocks on the door. The wife opens the door, 3 little children on her arms, a couple of them hiding under her skirt, and others behind her playing around. The priest counts as many as 10 of them. Well, this is quite a pleasant surprise, exclaims the priest. It seems like God listened to my prayer, but where is your dear husband? My husband traveled to Rome, says the wife with a tired look on her face. To Rome? Why on earth would he go to Rome? To blow out that candle you lit. 8. And a young blonde in a short skirt boarded the bus. She didn't have enough money for the fare, so she hitched up her skirt. The driver took one look and waved her on the bus. The next day, I thought I'd try the same. My bus came along. I got on and showed the driver a bit of leg. He immediately called the police, so I put the bit of leg back in the black bag and ran off. 9. A couple go to the zoo and stop next to a gorilla's cage. Husband: tease the gorilla like you tease me. The wife promptly pulls up her shirt. The gorilla starts panting. Husband: tease him a little further like you tease me. The wife mischievously pulls up her skirt. The gorilla is now running and jumping around. The husband opens the door, grabs his wife and throws her into the cage with the gorilla and says, "Now tell the gorilla you have a headache." 10. I think I'm going to lose my driver's license and all just because of a stupid police officer. The conversation went like this when I got pulled over in my car. Officer: license and registration, please. I think you are drunk. Me: I assure you, I did not drink anything. Officer: okay, let's do a little test. Imagine driving in the dark on a highway at night when you see 2 lights in the distance. What is this? Me: a car. Officer: of course, but which one? A Mercedes, an Audi, or a Ford? Me. I have no idea. Officer. So you're drunk. Me, but I didn't drink anything. Officer. Okay, one more test. Imagine you drive in the dark on a highway at night and there is one light coming at you. What is it? Me. A motorcycle. Officer. Of course. But which one? A Honda, a Kawasaki, or a Harley? Me. I have no idea. Officer. As I suspected, you're drunk. Then I started to get annoyed and asked a counter question. Me. So, counter question. You're driving in the dark on a highway at night and see a woman on the roadside. She wears a mini skirt, fishnet stockings, high-heeled shoes, and only a bra as a top. What is this? Officer. A prostitute, of course. Me. Yes, but which one? Your daughter, your wife, or your mother? Things went downhill from there, and now I have a court date to attend. 11. A woman decided to have a facelift for her birthday. She spent $5,000 and felt really good about the results. On her way home, she stopped at a dress shop to look around. As she was leaving, she said to the sales clerk, "I hope you don't mind me asking, but how old do you think I am?" "About 35, he replied. "I'm actually 47, the woman said, feeling really happy. After that, she went into McDonald's for lunch and asked the order taker the same question. He replied, "Oh, you look about 29. "I am actually 47, she said, feeling really good. While standing at the bus stop, she asked an old man the same question. He replied, "I am 85 years old and my eyesight is going. But when I was young, there was a sure way of telling a woman's age. If I put my hand up your skirt, I will be able to tell your exact age." There was no one around, so the woman said, "What the heck?" and let him slip his hand up her skirt. After feeling around for a while, the old man said, "Okay, you are 47. Stunned, the woman said, "That was brilliant. How did you do that?" The old man replied, "I was behind you in line at McDonald's." 12. I woman had just given birth to a baby boy. The doctor was holding him and told the parent, "I regret to inform you that your son was born without eyelids." The mother replies, "That's terrible. What are we going to do?" The doctor says, "I've seen this before. Don't worry. We will circumcise him and use the foreskin to make him new eyelids." The father says, "Won't that make him cockeyed?" The doctor replies, "No, if anything, it will give him foresight."